again. It's been so long since you've been here.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here already. You know, it's Monday, the 25th of September, 2023. Our listener and our viewer, don't forget, we are reaching you live from the hills of ZINARIYA, Plateau State, Nigeria, and home of peace and tourism. And we'll do our best to make sure we sustain the relative peace being enjoyed on the plateau. It's good to have you already. Beatrice Adamu Iji is my name, and you are on to Unity 93.3 FM, and it's Unity Trend, that segment with which we just look at issues as they are trending on our national dailies. And so it's good to have you already. And in the studio this morning, I'm so glad to have Professor Ovena H. Bameyi is in the studio, Dean Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos. Prof, good morning this beautiful Monday morning.
Good morning, Kulbi. Good morning, our viewers and our listeners. It's a wonderful, beautiful Monday morning, and by God's grace and mercies, we are full of energy, and we thank God for health to be able to pursue our endeavors. We thank God for a wonderful, memorable weekend also in the plateau and across the globe. So, Kulbi,
yes,
we'll be having a good time this morning as we look at various issues. And please stay tuned with Unity FM radio and TV, and you will not regret it.
Yes, of course. If you stay tuned, you will not regret you did. And so, there is that one thing you cannot afford to throw away, and that is the effort to live in peace with your neighbor. Make sure you do the needful to sustain that relative peace that we have on the plateau, and by extension in Nigeria. Let me tell you something before we begin with Prof, who is in the studio this morning. If anybody should give up, stop being optimistic, that will never be Professor H. Bameyi, because he is that one person I choose to call. He is a reckless optimist of better Nigeria, if you let me.
Bobby, I am an incurable optimist in the greatness of Nigeria. I believe that Nigeria has a fantastic potential to become one of the greatest nations on earth. And I see that potential everywhere and on daily basis. We just need to harness the potentials, maximize our potentials, and Nigeria will be on its way to becoming one of the greatest nations upon the planet. So I am an incurable optimist in the greatness of our nation, Nigeria.
Before we harness all that is left to you, there is that potential, but there is need to harness it so that it begin to yield fruitfully for us as a people.
You know, could be Nigerians all over the world are doing fantastically well. In fact, sometimes you wonder, are these Nigerians? We have Nigerian inventors in America, in Europe, in Asia, different parts of the world. We have Nigerian entrepreneurs all over the globe. We have Nigerians who are leaders and captains of industries, leaders in academics, leaders in the medical field, engineering field, name it, all over the world. And they're doing excellently well. The challenge we are having as a country, as a nation, that we're trying to become a nation really, is to harness these potentials. In the US alone, we have more than 4 million Nigerians. In the UK, millions of them there. You go to Germany and various other nations. What are all these fantastic Nigerians doing in all these different countries? Why is it that they don't want to come home and stay at home and do those wonderful things they're doing in these various countries? It is because there is a problem at home.
There's a problem at home.
And these are the things that we need to address. We need to talk about them. The president over the weekend was telling Nigerians in the diaspora, come back home, a few days ago, but they can't come back home until the environment is conducive. Nobody wants to come back home and be kidnapped. A young man returned back from abroad, set up a hotel in Ogbomoso, only to be kidnapped and to be killed. And his friends said it's a mistake. Why? Did you come back to Nigeria, you know? And we have a lot of that happening. A woman came back to the country with her husband and daughter. They were kidnapped. Not only were they kidnapped, but the woman was raped in front of her husband. Her daughter was raped almost to unconsciousness. And when they were finally released after the ransom was paid, they vowed that they will never return back to Nigeria. In fact, they said even their dead body should not be brought back to Nigeria. Their dead body should be buried overseas where they're staying. And we have see this insecurity. We see this kidnapping, killing, assassinations, you know, violence, communal clashes, you know. We see all manner of political violence and the rest of it. It is not good for our nation, Nigeria. And that's why we have to keep talking about these things, and we have to keep taking action, taking steps to ensure that we have a country that is peaceful, that is vibrant, that is prosperous, the Nigeria that every Nigerian will be proud to call my country Nigeria.
Okay, Prof, still talking about Nigerians who, for some reason, you know, came back home only to have themselves go through some regrettable, you know, do I say incidents now. Now, we still have a lot of them outside. Of course, maybe sometimes, okay, let's bring it home. Let's say Plateau. You have a lot of Plateau people that are not in Plateau at the moment, and when you make phone call, they say, oh, you're still in Plateau. They are Plateau people, actually. They wonder if ever they will ever come back to Plateau, because to them, there is no peace. Do you think it's about time for them to start coming home?
Well, is it about time? If you ask me, it could be. I will say no for now.
For now?
For now, it is a no. Except you want to take the risk. You know, when I was returning back to the country, very few people knew. Up to now, some people don't even know that I'm in the country. I sneaked in for security reasons. I did not put it on Facebook or in a WhatsApp status or go to Instagram, you know, and social media and all that. I just sneaked in. That's not a good way to come to your own country. You should enter your country on a red carpet and be welcome. But kidnappers think that if you are coming from any part of the country, even if you are coming back from Cameroon or Niger Republic, you have money. And you become a target for kidnapping, a target, you know, for the attack. So many of the Nigerians who are abroad, they are doing fantastically well. Do you know that the remittances of these Nigerians who are expatriates, who are doing business, working outside the country, is the second highest income earner for our government, for our country. It is second only to oil. The remittances. The remittances coming into the country are more than $20 billion. So these Nigerians who are based abroad are helping us to earn foreign exchange, foreign currency, you know, for our country. Because they keep sending money in dollars to our country. And that is why I say for now, we're better off for them staying there, because again, the country is not yet as peaceful as it should be. We're still battling with insecurity. We're still battling with political instability. We're still battling with very basic things that should be done. Health-wise, we don't have enough medical, facilities, and all such. And some of them have stayed abroad for such a long time that if they return back home, they will find it very difficult to adjust to the present situation. And that is why we need a stable leadership, stable government, visionary leadership. Let's do the basic things in Nigeria, and then we can ask them to come back home. Except for those of them who are visionaries of nation building, who are ready to come back and make the sacrifice. They're ready to come back and stay in a country where there is the national grid has collapsed for more than almost 20 times in the last 2 years. The national grid, as we're talking about, is having a problem. If they're ready to come and stay in a place where there is no electricity, do something about it, the roads are bad, then they can come to invest. So those of them who want to invest in the country so that Nigeria can become better, can think of coming back to invest. But those of them who just want to come back and just do normal work, you know, as a normal Nigerian, I think they should hold on for a while.
Prof, don't you think you would advise them like you did, you know, to to sneak into the country without making so much noise about it?
You're right. If you are coming into Nigeria from abroad, don't make too much noise about it. I think even the security experts have said it. Stop making noise. Somebody made noise and came into the country, was kidnapped. In fact, lost his life. I think another young lady like that lost her life. So don't make too much noise, because those guys, they think you have dollars. It doesn't matter which part of the country. Whether it's the bandits, whether it's Boko Haram, ISWAP, whether it is IPOP, whether it is whoever they are, all of them, we have them in all the regions in the country. You go to the south, southeast, southwest, north central, northeast, northwest, you have them there who are ready to, you know, kidnapping is probably the biggest industry in Nigeria, next only to politics. Because kidnappers make billions every year from victims. In fact, if you see the statistics of how much kidnappers have made, it is a very lucrative business in our country. Why? Because the government doesn't seem to be doing something tangible when it comes to this area. So kidnapping business has continued. As we are talking right now, some people have been kidnapped and they're still in the kidnappers' den. And this problem keeps persisting on and on and on and on. So if you're coming into the country, it is better you just come in quietly. Be very security conscious. Observe what is happening, you know, don't show a high profile. And so that you can be safe. If possible, contact a security expert who can give you some security advice and tell you how to go about your business or whatever you want to do in the country, so that you'll be safe in a country that is battling with a lot of insecurity.
All right, my listener and of course my viewer, you have heard that all from Prof himself. You know, Prof seemed to be very, very proud about Nigerians living abroad, because to him they are doing fantastically well. But of course, I will ask him about there were times where, of course, Nigerians were being repatriated because probably they were involved in some sort of child trafficking, drug-related abuse. Let's hear from Prof. Prof.
Yeah, those Nigerians that were repatriated were Nigerians that you call them economic migrants.
All right.
Those are people who use illegal means to leave the country. Many of them pass through the desert, pass through the Mediterranean Sea, pass through Libya, and sneak into Europe, mostly through Lampedusa in Spain, and various illegal routes. These are not expatriates. These are not people that the countries where they are going to be happy to receive. So the Nigerians that we are very proud of are the ones who are expatriates. They're doing very well in their various chosen professions, and those countries where they are don't even want to lose them. You know. So, but unfortunately, we have some Nigerians who have been deceived that if they can just jet out of the country, the Japa syndrome, it doesn't matter where they go to, how they leave the country, they just believe that if they can get to anywhere in Europe or North America and other parts of the world, that their life will just become a heaven on earth. And so they are deceived by traffickers, human traffickers who traffic in, and they pay a lot of money, unfortunately. And unfortunately, every year we have thousands of them dying in the Mediterranean Sea. We have a lot of them losing their lives. Some of them being raped, some of them being shot dead in the desert, you know, and all manner of things. And we have some of those who are trafficked for as sex workers, you know, to different parts of the world, even to Italy, Spain, even some of them in Libya, they don't even cross into Europe, you know, and they become commercial sex workers. Some of them become slaves of their masters, serving as as servants, as actually slaves to their owners. They don't have a will of their own. So please, my advice is, if you must leave the country, do it the legal way. And don't leave Nigeria until you are 100% sure that you have a job where you're going. In fact, get the job first before you leave the country. Don't go there and then start looking for a job. Every part of the world now, they have challenges. There is no country on earth that doesn't currently have unemployment. The unemployment rate might not be as high as ours, but please don't take the risk to go there. You know, we even have people who harvest organs. They deceive innocent victims, Nigerians, that they have gotten a job for them in Asia, in Europe or somewhere, and they process their papers, send them money, and as soon as they leave the country, they find that they're actually dealing with criminals who will kill them and harvest organs from their body for use. So it is very important that you go the legal way. If you are leaving the country, you have to follow due process. You know, you have to get a job, go to the embassy, get a visa, be sure of the identity of the people you are going to, the company. Is it registered in the country where they claim to be? What are their details? And cross-check with the embassy of that country. All these things, you can do them online. And once you do it and you're sure of them, then you can decide to leave the country if you must.
Okay, let's come back home to Plateau. Recently, last week, the tribunal judgment, all those, a lot of people were entertaining some sort of fears, probably because even on Friday, I'm a witness, I've seen a lot of shops being, under the locks and keys, and so, but we haven't heard of anything to regret about, that is to say, Plateau people are beginning. Do you see that Plateau people are beginning to chart the path of peace and everybody's contributing to sustain this relative peace been enjoyed on the Plateau, Prof?
Could be, I think we're getting tired of violence. And violence doesn't do anybody good. If you ask our viewers and our listeners, there is hardly anybody listening to me now or viewing on Unity TV who has not been a victim of violence on the Plateau, directly or indirectly. It's either directly you were the victim, or your brother, or your sister, or your parents, or one of your loved ones. Every one of us has passed through one form of trauma or the other because of insecurity, because of violence, because of protests, and all kinds of things that are happening on the Plateau. And I was very impressed. There was an uneasy calm, granted, especially on Friday. In fact, we were told not to go to certain parts of the state. In fact, beginning from Tuesday, Wednesday or so, when they confirmed that the tribunal was going to give a ruling, you have security alerts flying on social media. People should be careful. People should not go around, where the court is. People should be careful going to certain places. In fact, do you know that some of the youths had mobilized themselves on both sides, APC, PDP, that if the judgment is not in their favor, there will be a clash. They were not going to take it. So people were really scared. In fact, people left their houses. A woman told me that she did not sleep the night, before the court ruling. And those who were prayer warriors were busy praying. Those who can recite a lot of surahs from the Quran for protection were reciting. Those who could do one thing or the other, maybe they have some traditional power, were trying to use it, and all such. Because people were expecting that there will be an outbreak of violence. But thank God that God answers prayer. If there is a man to pray, there is a God to answer. And that tribunal ruling came and passed. And before you even, some people were still asking, have they finished? Have they finished? Because, they did not see people maybe, killing on the street or something happening. The ruling went in favor of the PDP and the current governor. And I think we must give it also to the opposition, that they accepted the court ruling. as Democrats and said we accept the tribunal ruling. And we must also give it to the PDP for being magnanimous in victory and calling on all Platonians, come together, let's build Plateau. Plateau is our state. Plateau belongs to all of us. And there is no need for violence. There is no need to fight and kill each other because it doesn't do anybody any good. So Friday was wonderful and fantastic. I was so happy that our people could maintain peace. And I hope that we'll keep seeing more of this, could be.
Yes, I hope that we'll continue to see more and more of this because there is still more and more politics activities, to see, not only on the plateau, but of course Nigeria. And at this point, during City Report segment, preparatory segment of Unity Train,
yes,
someone called Mr. Abraham Douglas. He called from Tudunwada and was, I'm so keen to have you talk a little about the issue he raised. He said some people would have to build houses. He made mention of Tudunwada and Gentle Adamu, and then not having toilets at all. I don't want us to cross this segment without you say one or two things there. How dangerous can this be? Having people build houses and then you have tenants, you have people living in without toilets.
It's really sad. I was in a small African country. Let's not talk about countries that are even big and developed. We wanted to set up a building. The local authority said you cannot build that building until you first provide a toilet. You must provide a toilet for your workers and provide a toilet for the building you are raising. It is a requirement, otherwise no approval. You cannot even start the building. And it is amazing to me, my friend, they have a, this is not only on the plateau. My friend was at an occasion, and this organization had a building in Abuja. They just finished the building and they were trying to commission it. And the wife of a big man came there, and suddenly she wanted to use the toilet. There was no toilet. There was no toilet. The woman had to use the wrapper around and create a toilet for the woman to use herself. I mean, that's a mistake. Human beings are human. Human beings must excrete. Human beings must urinate. Otherwise, they are not human. Why build a house without enough toilets? In fact, every room in the house should have a toilet. Every person, every one individual should be entitled to one toilet. If we want to be serious. So, you cannot set up a building for whatever excuse, whatever reason, and not make provision for toilet facilities. My faculty in the University of Jos, blessedly, is noted for the fact that we provided toilet facilities for our staff and students even before moving to the permanent site. While we were at Bauchi Road, we ensured that they have it and that they maintain those toilet facilities. Come to the University of Jos permanent site, go to certain faculties, the students cannot use the toilet facilities because they are not enough, or maybe none has been delegated to them to use. I was at somebody's office and they had to lock the toilet. And I inquired, what about the students? Which one would they use? The students have no toilet to use. Just imagine. And those students are human beings.
They are.
In fact, I was discussing with a woman some years ago. She said, many years ago as a student, she learned to come to the campus prepared because she knows if she has to use the toilet, she has to go back home. And that is not good, that is not healthy. So I think we need to improve on the plateau, especially here in the city of Jos. If you are a landlord, when you are building a house, build more toilets than the rooms that you have. You are a house owner, you're building your own house, make sure there are enough toilets and that you even have a toilet for guests who come to the house. So it is something that I think that the relevant authorities should enforce. They should enforce it. It doesn't cost too much to build a toilet. I was in Redfield, I saw a fantastic building the people are using, but the toilet they have is a makeshift toilet, zinc. I think it was maybe after they finished building the place that they now thought, oh, we don't have a toilet.
Oh my.
Let's make a toilet of zinc. You see, they built a very fantastic, fine building.
Yes.
Because I've been there a number of times, but no toilet in the building. You want to use a toilet, you have to go outside to a makeshift toilet, a zinc building, where they have made one for female, one for male.
Oh, I think it's a good effort there.
Well, they have tried at least.
Prof, thank you very much. It's 8:30. Our listener and our viewer will go on a short break. We'll be coming back just after this short time out. Stay tuned, I beg.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs some love. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It a kill love, it a kill dreams. It a land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Unity TV.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody.
Everybody needs some love.
You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since...
Thank you so much for still being there with us on Unity 93.3 FM. Don't forget, today is Monday, the 25th of September 2023. Beatrice Adamu Iji is my name, and we are reaching you live from the hills of ZINARIYA, Plateau State, Nigeria, that home of peace and tourism. In the studio of Unity 93.3 FM and TV this morning, I'm not alone. I am covered. Before I let you know who is with me in the studio, those of you who, were not with us on the first segment, I need to tell you this, that we have been looking at lots of issues, and we will continue. That was for us to look at issues that, we have had them from Friday even up to this very moment. And of course, again, we have had issues raised during the first segment, a preparatory segment of Unity City Reports. And then we brought them here again, and then we were just talking about them when it was time for us to go on a break. And now that we are back, it's good to have you join us on Unity Train. And so, Professor Proveno H. Bamaye is in the studio this morning. I'll let him say another big morning to all of you, especially our viewer and our listener.
All right, so a big good morning to our viewers and our listeners, and good morning again to you, Kulbi. Please, listeners and viewers, remain tuned to Unity FM Radio and Unity TV. We are on a fantastic ride on this Unity train, and it will be taking us to a wonderful destination that all of us desire. And please, the issues that we'll be raising are issues of importance to all of us on the plateau and here in Nigeria. So we'll be having a wonderful time, a fantastic time this wonderful morning.
Yes, of course, we'll be having a fantastic time, but that will not be without you. And so I beg that you stay tuned. This discussion continues now. Our professor, you were talking about having to build without toilets, and let me just put all of these issues together for you. Then we see if we can just, have them dealt with maybe in 2 or 3 minutes or thereabouts. Building without toilets, and also having commercial vehicles using tinted glasses in the city of Jos. And then you also have indiscriminate disposal of waste in the city of Jos, particularly in terminals, as called to informed Mr. Barnabas, Kingsley Barnabas. Now, who they do us? Our regular caller there, called earlier to raise concern about it. So, Prof, what would you say about this before we go into the main business of this segment?
Thank you, Kulbi. We've made it very categorically clear that building without toilets is a no-no. You can't have a building without toilets. Even when you are keeping animals, you have to make provision for those animals to be able to discharge their wastes. Talk less of human beings. You know that a normal human being in 2 to 3 hours should urinate if he is properly hydrated. But the challenge is that some of us don't drink enough water. And it's not healthy. We should be drinking enough water. Every 2 to 3 hours, you should at least go to the toilet, at least to urinate. So if you don't have a toilet, what happens? You'll be urinating outside, in the bush or on the street or somewhere, or you need to defecate, why will you do it, on the streets? So it is a capital no to have a building without toilets. It is even against the UN convention. You are treating human beings worse than animals, worse than you would treat animals, because I bet some dog owners treat their dogs better than some tenants, some landlords treat their own tenants. So this is not good. Now, talking about commercial vehicles, using vehicles that the glass are tinted, it's a security risk. And I think that the law enforcement agencies have been talking about this again and again, because criminals will just disguise themselves, or those commercial vehicles could have kidnapped people and it's all tinted, and nobody is saying that maybe there are children inside the vehicle screaming or shouting. Nobody is hearing them because it's tinted, and the glass, they've raised the glass. So it is a capital no. Commercial vehicles shouldn't be doing that. I will encourage our listeners that when you see such, you see something, say something. Report to the relevant security agencies. I think we've given the phone number of the PPRO.
Yeah,
sometimes on this platform, call him, call the DPO. We've had to give phone numbers of even DPO and other people. Call them, inform them about this development. In fact, you can call the road transporter union
workers, yes,
because they know that this is illegal. Tell them that one of your members is doing something illegal. Do something about it instead of keeping quiet. The challenge with many of us is that we don't talk. We just want to keep quiet. We just feel it's not my business. Maybe I'm not the one in the vehicle. Even if I am, I will soon be dropping, so I don't care what happens, and all that. You have to say something. Don't allow people get away with illegality. If you don't do something, you're also culpable because you're allowing illegality to thrive in the society. So I call on citizens, please report those kind of people. Report them. You might not have the authority to enforce it, but you can report that such and such vehicle. What you can do is take the number plate of the vehicle and then report to the union and report to the police and say such and such commercial vehicle is all tinted and we don't feel safe, especially in this era when there is so much kidnapping. People are being kidnapped. People are even kidnapped in broad daylight in vehicles that are not tinted, talk less of the ones that are tinted. So I think that this is an issue that we should take rather very serious. We shouldn't be casual about it and allow it to go on, and then we have loss of lives or loss of properties or people are hurt before we begin to cry out. Now is the time to cry out and to cry out persistently until something is done. Now to the issue about waste disposal. There was a day I was driving along one of the routes, and I said to myself, wow, how can human beings collect this amount of waste? And it is near somebody's house. And the person is doing nothing about it. And we have that in different parts of the city of Jos. Of course, the concentration is in certain parts, but there is hardly any part of Jos except maybe where the elites, the big men are staying, that you don't have this. And it is simple. Why don't we organize ourselves and take care of our environment ourselves instead of waiting for the government to do everything? There are things that we can do for ourselves. Like for me, for example, I was staying in a certain place. What I do is I dig a big hole, and then all the refuse produced from the house, we put it inside. And we keep putting it inside. We keep putting it inside until the day it is filled, we cover the hole neatly and dig another one. Now, some people might not have the space, to be able to do that.
Yes.
Why don't you get a good, proper dustbin? Small, big, large, where this waste is collected. And then you get somebody, because sometimes, the town sanitation, the vehicle might not come to help or do something. I know that in some parts of the city, you have the sewage disposal unit, and all such, and they try to pack some of this refuse from the streets. But they might not go to certain places. But you yourself, you can dispose it. I remember that one place where I was staying, we organized ourselves. We gathered the refuse.
As a community?
Yeah. In our little house compound.
Okay.
And different compounds also do the same. We gather the refuse and we get this keke, we pay them. They will carry the refuse and they will go and dispose it for us. I hope that they are disposing it at the right place.
That's another thing.
Yeah, but we pay them. So they come like on weekly basis and they will empty the trash can. And then when it is full again, they'll empty it. So I think that all of us should see it as a responsibility to ensure that our environment is clean and ensure that we are in a hygienic environment. It should be our own responsibility, personal responsibility, to ensure that waste is properly disposed, not littering the streets. Yesterday I was buying orange around Terminus, and the orange man gave me the orange to test, to prove to me. He said my orange is juicy,
so you
test
can
it,
buy more.
So he just cut it before I could say no, he has already cut it, and said no, this one is for you to test. I tested, then I said, where is your dustbin? I want to throw this, where is your dustbin? There's no dustbin.
There was none.
He said, don't worry, just keep it. When I finish, I'll sweep the place and make sure it's neat, and I hope that that's what he's doing. We should have dustbins everywhere. Again, forgive me that I will mention about Malaysia, for example. Do you know that if you just take sweet, the wrap of the sweet,
yes,
even if they tell you that just throw it, you will not want to do it.
Because
everywhere is neat. The streets are neat. The houses, the environment, everywhere. You will look for a dustbin. And blessedly, they have dustbins all over the place. Every office has a dustbin. The streets have dustbins. Restaurants have several dustbins. Vehicles have dustbins. Everywhere there is dustbins. So nobody litters the street. You don't throw anything on the street. I think we should imbibe that kind of culture, where we dispose waste, properly. In fact, like they do in Malaysia, you segregate the waste. You have some waste that is maybe solid waste, you have the liquid, you have different kinds of waste, the plastics, the metals, you segregate it, for easy disposal. Right. So I think citizens should take it as a responsibility. Citizens should take it as a responsibility to dispose waste properly. And the relevant authorities should ensure that waste on the streets is properly cleared, disposed of. And there should be penalties for people who are fond of indiscriminate disposal of waste. People who abuse the environment, who pollute the environment. There should be penalties imposed on them, otherwise they will not stop doing it.
They will not stop doing that. Yes, of course, at this point, our listener and our viewer will just begin to go to having to hear from Prof again. How was his weekend and how was the weekend of Nigerians all of us? So, over the weekend. So that's what we have today.
Yeah.
So let's begin to see what happened over the weekend, because we cannot afford to break our conversations. We stop these editions every Friday. Yes. So Saturday and Sundays, we don't come on air. And so we want to see a possibility where every Monday, possibly if the producer is there to approve this, so we'll always have over the weekend edition of Unity Trend. So we could be able to look at issues over the weekend. So how was it?
Well, could be a lot happened over the weekend.
All right.
I don't know whether to begin with the positives or the negatives or whatever. But a lot of things happened over the weekend, Friday to yesterday, Sunday, maybe early this morning. You will notice that even the election petition tribunal ruling was on Friday. And that time we had already finished the Unity Trend,
Yes.
And that is good news. That's positive, to begin with. And there has been peace over the weekend and up to this morning. And I've been able to travel to different parts of the city. Bauchi Road, Bauchi Ring Road, Lamingo, Refill, Zarmaganda, Bukuru Road, Secretariat, different parts of the city. Of course, Terminus is at the center. We pass through it most of the time. And I think Platonians have shown themselves to be people who love peace.
Oh my!
And we want to thank God for that, and we want to pray that that peace will also continue. And something happened to our economy, as we're approaching the weekend and into the weekend. Now the dollar exchanges for about 100 naira. 990 to 1,050 naira to a dollar. And it seems to be a world record for us. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria that we are reaching this. I wouldn't want to call it a landmark. What will I call it? I think it is unfortunate that just $1 is exchanging for 1,000 naira. If I have $1, could be I'll take 1,000 naira from you. That $1, all it will get for me is I need maybe even $2 to get a cup of coffee in some parts of the world. But that $1 or $2 is worth 1,000 or 2,000 Nigerian naira. And we've been promised that something will be done, the economy will get better, the naira will become stronger. The federal government rolled out some measures, just hurriedly, to try to strengthen the naira and all that without planning. This is where we found ourselves over the weekend. 1,000 naira to $1. And that's a tragedy. It has never happened in the history of this country. We just entered a Nigerian Guinness Book of Records of the fall of the naira. 1,000 naira to $1. Who knows what is going to happen next? And it is because we are implementing the wrong policies, we are coming up with the wrong policies, we have wrong implementation, wrong strategies. It is as if the government did not really plan, strategize, what they want to do. And they're telling investors, come invest, come and invest, come and invest and all that. But look at our economy. And this is not good, especially for the local economy. Because if I want to get something that is not produced in Nigeria, imagine how much I will be spending. And imagine me traveling out of the country. Over the weekend, somebody just came back from the UK. And she said to me, she said to a group of us that look at that at this exchange rate, she just felt as if somebody just robbed her. As if she was robbed. Do you know how many 100,000 naira you will need
to
get a pound sterling, to get the dollar? Because our money has been so bastardized. Our money has become so devalued. And it is something the government needs to do something urgently about it. And one of the things the government needs to do is to go into production. We're consuming too much. We're borrowing too much. Our economy is in shambles. And it is high time the government tells ourselves the truth. Our economy is not doing well at all. Please, let's not deceive ourselves. Please, Your Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the economy is not doing well. Whoever is minister for economy, minister for all the relevant ministries, in fact, all our leaders, please, our economy is not doing well. Our economy is in shambles. It is high time we tell ourselves the truth and wake up and do something about the Nigerian economy. And also, tragically, over the weekend could be the Zamfara students who were kidnapped on Friday. Early Friday morning, about 30 of them were kidnapped. They are students of the Federal University, Gusau. They were kidnapped, 30 of them. 7 were rescued. 2 of them escaped while the kidnappers were busy on the phone, making phone calls. 2 of them were able to escape. So it means we have 21 of them currently with the bandits. Over the weekend, the President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, gave a directive to the security agencies to rescue these girls. Rescue them alive. Rescue them hell and heart. Whether that happens or not, it is our prayer that it happens. But it is unfortunate that the bandits are thriving and enjoying their threat, while Nigerians are languishing in insecurity, while Nigerians are not sure of who will be next. Because these bandits went to the hostels, the residence where these female students were staying, and kidnapped them and carried them away. Can you imagine? Unchallenged. They did this unchallenged. And it's not the first time that these kidnappings are taking place. As we're talking right now, we have kidnappings in different parts of the country. Some of them never get to even the news headlines. You know? Nobody even hears about them. So it is high time that the government should not just rescue people when they're kidnapped, but the kidnappers' judgment should be expedited. Carry out the punishment immediately. If possible, set up mobile courts. Arrest these kidnappers, pronounce whatever judgment is supposed to be meted on them, and immediately they will be taken to prison or whatever it is. If they have killed somebody and they deserve the death penalty, impose it, carry it out immediately. Otherwise, these kidnappings are not going to stop. It is because we are compensating kidnappers. That's why they keep kidnapping. It is because we keep paying ransom and paying ransom. Even our security agencies are involved in paying the ransom. Because the other day some people were going to pay ransom and they met police along the way, and the police said, "Where are you going to?" They said, "Our relation was kidnapped, we're going to pay ransom." And the police said, "God bless you, God be with you." You know, and allowed them, you know. My friend was kidnapped in Vom. And he told us that over the phone he heard these kidnappers discussing as they were negotiating with his friends and relations for payment. And it looks as if the amount was not a good amount. The kidnappers were saying, "Out of this money that you are saying you want to give us, this money is too small. How much are we going to give the authority? How much are we going to give the security agencies? Because we have to give them something. If you don't give us the amount we're asking for, we're going to kill your relation." So, in fact, my friend said that when he was kidnapped, along with another friend, he thought that the security agencies were going to come to their rescue, because just meters away from where he was kidnapped, there were security forces. So he said he was dropping things from his wallet. He will remove ATM, drop it. He will remove a complimentary card, drop it. He will remove maybe a pen, drop it from his pocket. Was dropping things as a trail, drop handkerchief, drop other things, so that if they're looking for them, they can find them. But nobody can until the ransom was paid. So this is really unfortunate. And it is high time that something drastic, I mean drastic, is done about this. Otherwise, the kidnappers are not going to stop, because the government is treating kidnappers with kid gloves. That's why the kidnapping industry, if I will call it the kidnapping industry, has been thriving and increasing and recruiting more and more people are going into kidnapping because it looks lucrative. And also, sadly, over the weekend, looks as if we have a lot of bad news over the weekend. You would note that the body of Mohbad was exhumed for autopsy, and the autopsy result is being awaited. Mohbad is the singer that died, I think it was on the 12th of September or thereabout, and he was hurriedly buried. He was hurriedly buried within 24 hours. And people have raised questions, why hurriedly bury him? Even when he's not a Muslim. If he's a Muslim, we understand that Islamically, it is all right to bury within 24 hours. But he was hurriedly buried, and videos that surfaced online showed that the casket was poorly constructed. They had to squeeze his head, turn it and squeeze it to fit into the casket. And so there have been a lot of rumors. And some of the rumors, people are pointing accusing fingers at the father. That you know something that you are not telling us. Why did you bury your son in so much of a hurry? And there have been protests over the weekend. There have been protests on Saturday. There was protests even Up to yesterday, there have been protests in different parts of the country, and so the police have had to exhume the body for autopsy, and we are awaiting the full report of that autopsy. Here on the plateau could be the Archbishop Benjamin Kwashi.
Yes.
Officially is retiring. And there was a valedictory service on Saturday and Sunday yesterday. He has been a bishop for more than 30 years and has contributed to the plateau politically, educationally, economically, and socially and otherwise. And we celebrate with the Most Reverend Dr. Benjamin Kwashi as he retires.
Thank you very much, Prof. It's been a wonderful one. Our listener and, of course, our viewer, just stay tuned. We're going to short break. When we come back, it's going to be all of your time to begin to throw in your comments. Thank you. Stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune into Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Pay attention, it starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It kill love, it kill dreams. It land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking.
Thank you so much for staying tuned to Unity 93.3 FM and of course Unity TV. Patrice Adamuizi remains my name, the anchor for today's Unity Trend, and I have been in the studio with Professor Poveno H. Ba Mayi. And this moment is that segment of Unity Trend that you would begin to throw in your comments. You can do that on our Facebook page. You just go Unity Radio FM/TV. Just I'll read your comment at the appropriate time. I've seen a couple of some of the comments already on our Facebook page. And if you want to send in an SMS, just do that via 0808478 9 in 4 places. 0808478 in 4 places. You may need to do that very quickly so that I won't be out of here before they get to come, and we would love to read from you. And thank you so much for joining us already. We just give Professor just a minute or two to round up on Over the Weekend. We call today's edition, we call it Over the Weekend. This is because we don't want to have a break of happenings in Nigeria, because we don't do Unity Trend on Saturdays and on Sundays. And so, but of course, we're human beings and every day comes with its challenges and issues. If we don't do anything about the events on Saturdays and Sundays, there'll be a gap, and so we wouldn't want to have you go through that. And that is why Professor is in the studio this morning. Let me see as many of the issues that we have from Friday, even all through, even early Mondays morning. And so thank you so much for being there. Yes, maybe we'll just give him.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kulbi. Quickly, over the weekend we had an outbreak of diphtheria in Jigawa State. 10 people died out of the 92 cases, 92 cases they had in Jigawa State. You will recall that diphtheria has been spreading around the country since towards the end of 2022 up to now. It has a case fatality rate of 10%. So if you have 100 people who are infected, 10 will die. So that has been the trend, and Jigawa is the latest victim. One good thing is that this is a vaccine-preventable disease.
Okay.
And so people should be vaccinated, especially children from 1 to 14 years old. Most of those who have died, more than 70% of them, are within this age range of 2 to 14. So this bacterial disease caused by Corynebacterium diphtheriae is vaccine preventable. And it was discovered that most of those who died are people who did not take the vaccine, who were not vaccinated, children who were not vaccinated. And most of the states affected have a low, vaccination rate. So people should get vaccinated. Over the weekend on the international scene, we had another wonderful breakthrough in science. Lawrence Fawcett became the second human being to receive a heart transplant from a pig heart. The pig heart was genetically modified and was transplanted to Lawrence Fawcett. Lawrence Fawcett is 58 years old, and he was going to die if not for this heart transplant surgery carried out in Maryland, in the United States of America. It was successful, as we are discussing now. After the surgery yesterday, Lawrence Fawcett was in good spirits, gisting, cracking jokes, and laughing. His heart is beating on his own. Doesn't need any devices or machines. So this is a major breakthrough. This is the second time that this kind of surgery is being done. Of course, heart transplants are normal since 40 or 50 years ago when the first one was done. But this one is transplanting the heart of a pig. What they do is to take the heart of the pig and try to put in some human DNA into it, modify it a bit, and then transplant it into a human. And this was successfully done, and the guy is in high spirits and is enjoying himself, as we are talking right now. So before I end this, I must say that in the University of Jos, it's a wonderful weekend also, because we have a new ASU chairman.
Oh, I see.
A friend and colleague, Dr. Julbe Molus, emerged as the chairman of the Academic Staff Union of the University of Jos. And I want to use this opportunity to felicitate with Dr. Julbe, to congratulate Dr. Julbe. Comrade Dr. Julbe Molus is the new chairman of Academic Staff Union, University of Jos branch. And we wish him a fantastic, wonderful, memorable tenure in office. And it is our prayer for him that during his days, ASU will go to higher heights, even more than his predecessors. So, Dr. Julbe, our prayers and congratulations go to you.
Oh, thank you very much. At this point, our listener and our viewer, let me just begin quickly from our Facebook page. This one is coming from Mutala Yahayama Iga. Say good morning to you, or could be. Thank you for the good work. Please keep it up. May God bless you all. Congratulations to Excellency Barrister Caleb Mutfang, Executive Governor of Plateau State. God bless Nigeria and Plateau State. Do you have a wonderful day? From Mutala Yahayama Iga Yanshanu. Thank you, Mutala. And this one is coming from Muhammad Rabiu Ayuba. He's saying, good mornings to you people in the house. We appreciate. And this one is coming from Asobogun Francis. He says, good morning, gentlemen. Nigeria is a wonderful country where its citizens only challenges their leaders on social media, but tested them with little position, and you will understand them better. We are very, very strong and mighty in insulting the personalities and others, but forgotten about ourselves and where we occupied is unfortunate. Okay, so we're going to thank you for that. Again, this one is coming from Ismail Isa. He's saying, good morning, Unity crew, and good morning, Prof. Really, sir, if I understand you clearly, you are calling all the Nigerian leaders, all the law enforcement agencies to work as a team, like a national football team playing together, and they don't mind who will score the winning goal at the end of the day. The whole nations will be happy and celebrating with joy, peace and harmony, not only one person. Thank you. Okay, that is one nation, one people. Thank you, Ismail Isa. Thank you for that. Yes. And again, this one is coming from Thompson Tokma. He's saying, good morning, Unity Train. We appreciate and thank you so much. Now, if you want to be a part of it by calling our studio line, why don't you just dial 070-3235-3315. Just tell me your name, where you're calling from, and of course, you go ahead. In a minute, let's have your own take on any issue at all, promoting peaceful coexistence. All right, okay, before we receive from the first caller this morning, let's see what we have. Okay, hello, good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
It's Christy Izan from Rukubaro.
Christy Izan from Rukubaro. It's good to have you.
Yes, good morning.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for the wonderful analysis.
You're welcome.
I want to congratulate our father in the Lord, Benjamin Tafe.
Okay.
I want to also congratulate Dr. Jugbe. And then I want to add my voice to the issue of toilets.
All right.
This thing does not happen only in Chidonwada or whatever. But in our site too, here in Rukuba Road. Just this morning, I was going for morning mass. And one woman was shouting and yelling on one guy like that. That he came to our farm and was, defecating.
Okay.
And this is not the first time. I've always seen people will have toilets in their houses. But they will prefer to go out in the bush or open place to defecate. I don't know why.
Okay.
Sometimes they complain that there is no water. But right now we're in raining season. But people are still, I don't know whether they don't know the effect of this.
Okay.
So, honestly, when we were young, I know that these sanitation people, I don't know what they used to call them, but when we were young, some people used to go to houses and be inspecting. I don't know, just like when we were in boarding school, they will come and inspect your dormitories and the rest of them. And those people used to work very well, and people used to abide by the, by the rules. But now, I don't know whether our government are just nonchalant or whatever, but they should do the needful.
Thank you.
Because this thing causes so many problems, diseases, and the rest of them. Please, I think they should do the needful.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Christy Izan calling from Rukubarod. She would always end her call with peace is priceless. Yes. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, you may need to call us back at 0703-235-3315. I call it again, 0703-235-3315. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
It's good to have you. Who is on the line this morning?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. You're on.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, we can hear you.
My name is Abubakar. I'm calling from Angorogo.
It's good to have you, Abubakar from Angorogo. So what's the response?
I would like to comment on the issue of the security.
All right.
That is happening presently in our nation.
All right.
You see, for me, the issue of the security, our leaders have to do what is expected of them.
Okay.
Because it was clearly stated in the Constitution that, number one, the most priority of a leader is to be able to secure life and property of the citizens.
Yes.
When a government cannot do that, then meaning the government is not functioning the way it should be. And again, within the security architecture of our nation, ranging from the police, the military, and the paramilitary, how many are they? There are how many in number?
Okay.
When compared to other countries, we can see that, or we can just clearly say that our leaders are not ready for that.
Okay.
See our youth out there that have finished school, when they are looking for the job, now in terms of military, if you want to become a military, if you don't know somebody, nobody will take you there. So you can see people that have the will, that want to do the work, they will not have the opportunity.
Thank
but
you.
the people that don't even have the will for the work, they are the ones to have the opportunity. Then how can we get it right?
Thank you very much.
Again, I will, the professor in the house, I will also want to ask this question.
Okay.
What is happening with our higher institutions? What is happening? Because as we speak now, this has happened in the United States of America.
Okay, you may need to.
First of the time. Why this is not happening in our institution? Is it the real life?
Thank you very much.
Aspect of it for what?
Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, a long one there, and we appreciate. This one is coming from an SMS. It's saying, "Good morning, Kobe, Prof, and the listener. I am well, Professor. Okay, I'm well pleased, Professor. Thanks for your selfless service. Whoever guides someone to goodness will have a similar reward. My prayer is, may God grant your desires that will bring you long life, and may He prevent and protect us against all their evil plans. Amen." Hassan Garba. Thank you, Hassan Garba. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, thank you very much. Who is on the line?
My name is Muhammad Marjir from Saminaka.
It's okay. Then you have a minute, please.
Good morning, Professor.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
You have a minute. Amen. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He's just saying that he loved the program. He cannot really communicate in English that effectively, and so, but however, he loved it. So we appreciate. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, could be Mr. Prof and listeners. My name is Usman Big7, the ambassador of peace. I'm calling from ZINARIYA.
You're welcome, Peace Ambassador.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Well done for your good elucidation this morning.
Thank you very much.
Really, the issue of open defecation is almost everywhere. And always, I wonder why some people will come close to people and build uncompleted buildings and leave it like that. And there are a lot of people that will make use of that uncompleted building to be put inside and then refuse inside. And during this rainy season, people find it very difficult. It affects the health of the people.
Yeah.
Now let me give you an example of what is happening now at this Bauchi Junction. When you come to Bauchi Junction, you will see how people are dumping refuse at the moment, which is very bad. Not any dustbin, not any basket that will people put the refuse inside. Please and please, we are calling for the attention of government to provide at least a dustbin so that people find it very easy to dump their refuse inside. Thank you. People. Have a nice day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Peace Ambassador, calling from ZINARIYA here in the city of Jos. And this one is coming from Facebook page. Is saying from Muhammad Rabiu Ayuba. Say good morning to you people in the house. Appreciate it. And this one is from Abdullahi Rocky Boy, another Peace Ambassador there. He's saying good morning to you all. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Kubi. Good morning, Mr. Kubi.
Thank you very much. Who's on the line, please?
Oh,
amen.
I greet the guests in the studio. Continue to bless you.
Amen.
Today, I want to speak on the issue of insecurity.
Okay.
You see, at first, our leaders, they need to do the nation.
Okay.
They should stop playing politics around the issue of security.
Okay.
So Nigerians are going through a lot. Imagine the issue
unable to even feed well. You see, there is something if the government can fix the issue of security challenges. People can travel from here to as long as Lagos to go and look for their daily bread. To make ends meet. So in a situation where you will be planning to travel, or your mind, you don't even have the peace of mind to travel to another state. You see, it is getting out of hand. It's high time the government do the needful on the issue of insecurity. You see, me, I want to do something that is beyond taking pictures by security personnel. It takes a penalty for security personnel to come to where attack is going on. You see, that is what has been bothering us, and we have been hearing unknown government. No one is being apprehended. So how now are we going to be happy with a particular problem? But we will not give up on this. We will continue to mold our opinion until the government gets it well. And we pray God give them the wisdom to end this issue of insecurity.
Amen.
But if it's gone, Nigeria can progress. Thank you, and God bless you people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adewumi. Thank you for calling. If you want to be a part, we have a few more to pick, and then... Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, please. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and it's good to have you.
Yeah, it's Abraham Douglas. I'm calling from Tudumada.
Abraham Douglas, it's good to have you on this segment again.
Yes, what I want to say here is that before you embark on any journey,
yes,
first of all, you must know where you are going.
Okay.
It makes the journey a little easier for you, and that place you are going becomes your destination. That's a destiny. And I want to ask most of our Nigerian leaders, for 60 years, where exactly is our destination? You see, no nation's economy can grow beyond the knowledge of its leaders. And so the economy of any nation reflects the knowledge of those who lead it. And so in this regard, thousands of Africans die at the Mediterranean Sea almost on a daily basis. And this reflects the fact that the economy of Africa is not doing well at all. Because how many Europeans are making the same effort to come to Africa?
Okay.
So what is pursuing most of Africans is the fact that their economies are not good at all. Now, if you look at our universities or the tertiary institutions, how many foreign students do we have there? But if you look at other countries, you find out that Nigeria has the highest percentage of its students. And this hints at the fact that our economy is not doing well. And when leaders are responsible for the problem we are right inside. So I think it becomes imperative that our leaders stand up. Because if you look at what happened in Nigeria, I saw Michael Macron saying that he's going to withdraw his troops from Nigeria. And when he was being asked by the journalist, why do you want to withdraw your troops at this point? There was something he said. He said that African leaders have lost the courage to fight terrorism in their region. And so he is withdrawing their troops. And so he is ready to cooperate with any country that has the will to fight terrorism. So you can see the situation we find ourselves.
Yes, thank you.
Our leaders, are they truly ready to fight terrorism? How many people have been arrested? The sponsors. You look at the list that were brought by one of the countries, the United Arab Emirates, which says they brought the names of those who sponsor terrorism in our country. How many of them have been arrested?
Mr. Douglas, thank you very much.
To fight terrorism. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. That is the end. That's the much we can take from a community of intelligent listeners and viewers. And so at this point, Prof, we'll just let you respond to some of these, and then we'll round up. We have just a few minutes to be out of here.
Yes. Let me address a few of the matters raised by some of the listeners. Christy Izan said something very important. Many years ago, we used to have sanitary inspectors that move from street to street, from house to house, to ensure that sanitation is properly carried out. Why don't we have them today? In a country with so much unemployment, can't we have those sanitary inspectors? Can't we have public health workers, environmental health workers, that we move from house to house, street to street, to ensure that our environment is clean? The government can employ how much are they going to be paid? It's not much. So I think her appeal is very timely. It's high time state governments, the federal government should consider returning back these sanitary inspectors because it is important for public health. That we have, Nigerians have the tendency not to do things if they are not being supervised. If somebody is not putting his eye and saying you must do this, people would not care. They won't do it. Imagine now how much does it cost to have a dustbin at the motor park or in different parts of the market. People are waiting for the government to do it for them. When the unions can buy it, you can buy it for yourself, For example, in a university, my faculty, for example, we put dustbins all over the place that people can use. We don't wait for the university authority and say the university should buy dustbins, for us. So I think it is important that the government has a part to play and play its part very well. It is important that individuals, citizens, play their own role also well. You are building a house, you have to plan it. Open defecation is a no-no. We are now the world leader in open defecation. Nigeria has overtaken India. Nigeria is #1 when it comes to open defecation in the world. And this is not a good thing. Plateau State, we're trying, but we're not doing very well. I think we should improve when it comes to this. Then another listener raised the matter. I think he's referring to the breakthrough in research in the US, and he's saying what our own university is doing, why are we not maybe having such breakthroughs or some inventions? I can tell you that something is happening. We are not doing as well as we should because of lack of funding. But our researchers are not doing badly, given the limited resources. For example, University of Jos, we have an anti-snake venom vaccine that was produced that is undergoing clinical trials. And that is good. In the same University of Jos, we have some herbal products that can repel mosquitoes. Some of our researchers have produced them. I know my research team currently, we're working on a vaccine against a disease that affects animals and humans, in the country. I know that my faculty also has another research grant that is also trying to produce a locally based COVID-19 vaccine, So a lot is being done and the resources are limited. That's why we're saying there should be funding. We're not having the kind of funding that we should have. The government should be providing more funds to universities so that universities can carry out research effectively. Now, when it comes to the matter of security, all of us have a role to play.
Okay.
When it comes to security, we have a role to play, and we must play our role very well. While the government is playing its own role, we must not leave everything to the government. Otherwise, at the end of the day, when there is a security breach, who suffers? We the citizens suffer more than our political leaders who have a retinue of security around them, bulletproof vehicles, and all such. So my appeal to all of us citizens is let's come together in love, in unity, and let's believe in Nigeria, and let's do our bit to ensure that Nigeria works properly and ensure that Nigeria becomes a great nation in the community of nations.
Thank you very much. Let's do our bit. Professor Professor H. Bamayi, thank you so much for coming to the studio this morning.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much, our viewer and our listener. It's very good to have you. Always tuned to Unity 93.3 FM and, of course, Unity TV. We have come to the end of today's edition of Unity Trend. Our appreciation goes to everyone who made it possible, to have a smooth, transmissions, signals and all that. And for me, Bichus Adamuiji, tomorrow is going to be another beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.